Hi, it's Baz at GotAUkulele with another GotAUkulele instrument review. Excuse me. Another odd one. The world has gone plastic crazy. You may recall a while ago I reviewed the Kerala Explore ukulele, which kind of came on the back of the fuss that was made about the outdoor ukulele. Well, it now seems everybody's making plastic ukes, and this one has just come along. This is made by BugsGear, the company behind Ukulele Electros, and here it is, the BugsGear Aqulele. Given that aqua name because presumably it means you can get it wet, which you can, but I will come on to that. And it is all completely made of plastic. We have the back, sides and back of the neck are all one piece of plastic. And we have a separate piece of plastic on the top. The fingerboard is a moulded single piece of plastic, and we have a plastic face on the headstock. It's pretty solid, pretty solidly built. You can see some internal bracing there on the back. And you may recall, if you saw my review of the Kerala Explore, that I liked it but didn't like the fact that the neck was bendy. I think this is strengthened inside. It does not move. It is solid. In fact, the whole thing is pretty heavily built. These are pretty thick pieces of plastic on the inside, and it feels quite heavy. Actually, it's a strange one. So we have a fairly standard ukulele shape with a double bout. This is a cutaway for reaching the higher frets, but I'll come on to that. But do not adjust your eyes. Yeah, the sound hole is offset. I don't like that. I don't like it. I know that BugsGear make their other instruments that way, and they like to be quirky, but I think it looks odd. I don't think it's necessary. That's just my personal opinion. Some people will like it. I don't. There we are. The bridge is interesting. This is a single bridge and saddle one-piece thing, which is glued onto the top. So if you wanted to take this saddle down a little bit, and the action at the 12th is a little bit high, you'd have to sand away at that plastic, which I think is achievable, but I don't know what kind of finish it would leave. But I like the hooking arrangement here. So if this is aimed at beginners, this could not be simpler. Tie a knot in the string, put it through the big hole and pull it up the little notch. I like that. I like little developments where people just do things a little bit differently, so that's good to see. We have a bit of detailing around the sound hole with the silk-screened rosette, very simple. And generally speaking, the whole thing is nice and solid and feels good. There are, however, some finish flaws. You've got little bits of sharp plastic where it's come out of the injection moulding process. There's another one here on the edge of that's really quite sharp. Actually, the one on the edge of the sound hole. So there are some finish flaws, but generally it's pretty good. The neck is it's a strange one. This is a soprano scale instrument. The cutaway here gives a strange, lots of heel here, but generally speaking, it's fairly standard. It's quite thick down this end, but very narrow at the nut. I would prefer that to be much wider. The nut is moulded into the fingerboard, is plastic. It doesn't use a 0 fret, so the nut is cut to take the strings, and I think cut very narrowly. See how the strings here look like they're pinching directly into the plastic. I would want to widen those out. And the action as well at the is too high. There is daylight here. There is daylight. When I'm holding it at the third and pinching it down at the first, there's daylight. That needs to be taken down. The frets are plastic, and I don't know how long they will last, but they're moulded in. We have fret markers that are painted in black, but nothing for the player. And then it gets a bit odd. We have about 11 frets to the top of the body. We then have 14 full-size frets in total, which you can reach through the cutaway, which is quite comfortable. And then this. I mean, I don't get it. What's the point? They're pointless. Maybe it's just a design feature. Maybe I should get out more. Maybe I shouldn't care. I don't like it. Yeah, the cutaway gives you access to here, so what's that? Allowing you to get up to fret 18 on the A string. but nothing else. Okay, fine, I'll ignore it. The headstock, silkscreen with the BugsGear logo and unbranded cheap friction, unbranded cheap open geared tuners, which to my eyes look pretty identical to those that are on things like the Makala Dolphin. They work fine, they're not particularly sticky, and they've got rather nice pearloid buttons, but otherwise they're pretty cheap and standard. And the whole thing is finished off with what may look like Aqulele strings, but they're a bit too glossy for that. I don't think they're Aqulele. And a rather nice padded gig bag with a zippered pocket and shoulder straps, which is nice. I don't believe these are available in the UK yet, and dealers are considering stocking them. And they're considering stocking them, and they need to consider them against things like the Kerala Explore, which is available for about 20 quid. The price of these in the US, I think you have to buy them direct from the GotAUkulele website, and they are there for $90, which includes the gig bag and a clip-on tuner. So what's that, about 50 UK pounds? It's too expensive, in my opinion. I wouldn't spend that much money on this instrument. And if they're going to go and compete with the other plastics that are coming onto the market, they need to price them down. I'm sure they will, and maybe that $90 is an introductory cost for them to recover some development cost. I don't know, because this was developed by them directly, but I don't think it's worth $90 at all. How's it play? Well, as I say, it feels heavy, or heavier than you would expect it to for a plastic uke, but it's comfortable. It's quite nice. The sound hole position. I know a regular sound hole is only down a little bit, but it automatically just seems to play directly into the cup of my hand. So I kind of feel like I'm automatically muting it. It's also pretty low on sustain. It's about the same volume as the Kerala Explore. I think the Kerala Explore sounds a little bit sweeter. I think the thickness of this body and the heaviness of the build is killing the tone. But, you know, it's not bad. It's a plastic ukulele designed to take to the beach, designed to take camping, and allow you to get a tune out of it. And that moulded fingerboard works really well because it is accurate. Got a harmonic at the 12th. It is accurate all the way. So there are no tuning issues. It's kind of just play and buy, play, forget. Some of the strings sound a bit dead. I think that's the pinching here at the nut. You listen to the E. And the C. Whereas the A seems to ring. The nut needs work. All in all, if it's priced right, and if it's priced at that 20-30 quid range, I'd probably say go for it, and not worry about it. You know, some people hate plastic ukuleles. Nothing's new under the sun. There was a boom in plastic ukuleles in the 50s as well. It's happening again. I kind of like plastic ukuleles just simply because I don't expect them to be sweet orchestral instruments. I expect them to be a bit of rugged fun for taking anywhere and not worrying if you lose it. That's why I wouldn't pay $90 for it. That's too much money. Say something about that colour. Also comes in pink and purple. This is supposed to be orange. To me, it looks more like sort of caramel gastric problem colour. Look, if you're going to make it orange, make it nice and bright orange, make it silly, make it fun, but I don't like this at all. It's kind of an odd creamy matte colour. I don't know how well it's coming across on the video, but there we are. So lots I don't like about it. Don't like this. The tone is lacking. The volume is feels a bit dead. But if they price it right, and you get a little gig bag, and you want a bit of fun to take camping, and you're not going to worry if someone steps on it or it ends up in the pond, well, like all plastic ukuleles, really, why not? But not at $90. Keep an eye out and see what they list for when they appear over here, and let me know what you think. Cheers.